Hello, Aries, and welcome to your November 2021 reading. Be sure to check out your sun, moon, and rising for a more well-rounded perspective. And let's go ahead and begin. We're starting out with the Knight of Swords. So I feel like you're leaving the month of October and entering the month of November. There's an overall sense of rush. There's an overall sense of trying to get through something specific. So, and it has to do with consideration. It has to do with communication that has been going on, and this could be with other people. It could be with yourself regarding a specific circumstance. It doesn't matter how this applies, but there's communication on some line that has been slightly muddled, and so there's a desire for this to hurry up and pass. There's a desire of this to hurry up and get to the other side of it. So this is what I'm getting overall. It's the problem with that is that I'm getting an overall sense that it's kind of muddling the conversation more. It's muddling the communication more, and you're sort of kind of going backwards as a result of it. So this hurriedness that's coming through, this rush that seems to be pushing through, this desire to be faster, to get to the other side as quickly as possible. It almost feels like there's a bit of a misunderstanding that once you get through this, everything will be okay. Once you get to the other side of this, all will be well. Once you get to the other side of this, everything will go back to, for the lack of a better term, normal. But the problem is that that's not entirely the case. Whatever has been transpiring that has led up to this feeling, and whatever's transpiring that's going to continue, even once this has finally come to a conclusion, there is going to be some reverberations, some vibrations from this event, from this occurrence, and that's going to continue to ripple out into your future. So hurrying through this to get over or past it or beyond it is not necessarily the best approach. So if this is what you find yourself doing, you may want to check yourself. You may want to sort of pull back on the reins a little bit, stall a little bit, but overall there's a sense of need to slow down a little bit. There's an understanding why you feel the way you do. There's an understanding why you feel like you want to hurry up and get to the other side of this. However, it's not really rendering the results, or it's not going to render the results that you desire. So pulling on the reins a little bit, sort of kind of getting your head in a better space, kind of figuring out how to level your thinking and approach is going to be the better approach for you as you continue to deal with whatever the circumstances, whatever it is that you're facing. As you enter into the month of November, your best option is Ace of Swords, which is a new way of thinking, a new means of thinking, a new approach. Again, tapping into this card and that desire or that need to slow down, that need to pull back on the reins, that need to slow down enough that you can kind of think slower, approach it from a different angle, or maybe get into a better position to see the peripheral events or occurrence or, whatever might be going on that you might not be able to take note of because you're rushing in. That's all going to help, or is all necessary with coming in with a new approach, coming in with a new perception of whatever it is that you're facing. So this feels like this is not only something that is available to you, an opportunity that's available to you, but the other facet of the Ace of Swords is that you're actually being called to see this from a different perspective. You're being requested to slow down and take it at different angles, because you either might find a new approach or your understanding might change, and that in and of itself can change the course of events as you move into the future with whatever this is that you are dealing with at this point in time. We have the three of the major arcana 3, the Empress. There's some fertile grounds. This is coming through with strong fertility vibes. So whatever this is leading into, and I think this taps into what I said in the beginning about how the urgency to get over this so you can get back to new normal doesn't really apply. The vibrations and frequency of whatever this event is going to continue to ripple out into your future in some way, shape, or form. And one of the reasons why you need to be so cautious is because the grounds in the future that you are entering are very fertile for new beginnings. And so you want to ensure that whatever lands into that ground is good for you. You want to make sure it is prime seeds, prime water, prime fertilization, however you want to use an analogy as far as fertility is concerned. But you just want to make sure that that ripple effect and that frequency is only carrying things that's going to be of the best nutrients for whatever future harvest this may impact, even if it's in the distant future, because you're walking into fertile grounds. Whatever is going on, however this is going to go in the future, what is very prevalent in the near future and then its effects into the distant future, you're entering into fertile ground for yourself. And so that's why this cautionary tale is coming through like it's coming through at this point in time. So be very aware of what you're saying, be very aware of what you're doing, be very aware of what you are building, be aware of what you're holding on to, be aware of what you are releasing, because you are on the precipice of something new that's extremely fertile, and things are going to grow from this. So you want to make sure that whatever it is that you are nurturing, feeding, taking care of, tending to, and spreading are things that you want to grow, because something is going to grow from this. Whether you want it to or not, something will be growing from this. So make sure it is something that you actually desire and that you can do something with in the future. Finally, we have Night Song, Hidden Talents. This is coming in strong with Ancestor, and it's not particularly what a lot of people would take this card for, because it says Night Song, Hidden Talents, but it's coming in strong with how birds have a connection with ancestors through many different lores, through many different people's anecdotal stories, but there is definitely an ancestral connection with birds, and so this is coming through very strong. That bright red is coming through also with the message of action. And again, when you relate it to the fertility that is available to you, you want it to be right action, you want it to be good action, you want it to be healthy action. But that fire through red, that passion that comes through the color of red, we see repeated in the Knight of Swords as well as the Ace of Swords, and again with this last final message in the Night Song Bird. And so there's definitely a drive that's correlated in some facet with passion, with something that kind of makes you feel motivated, something that you might have a desire or are ready to enact on or have passion towards. It's just, again, make sure that whatever it is that you feel passionate towards, it's leading and planting in the fertile ground in the ways that you know you want it to grow and you know you want to harvest from at some point in the future. But definitely some ancestor connection, so you can tap into something that you know already about your ancestor. You can tap into something that you need to learn about your ancestor. There might even be something that you would consider who is your ancestor, and you knew that they wanted something for you and your life in this lifetime, and that inspires you. But there's an ancestor connection somehow with what you're going through, whether it be how to get through it, or if it's something that's supposed to inspire you while you're working through it, or if it's something to inspire you as far as what you're working towards. There's definitely an ancestor connection with it. And finally, the last portion of that hidden talents, I feel like that is coming in on the tail end of that ancestral connection and that passion and desire portion of this reading. It's coming in at the tail end of that and sort of letting you know that there's something about yourself that you are missing because you're in such a hurry. There's something about yourself that is a very special, unique gift that's unique and special to you that's remaining hidden because you're in such a rush, you're in such a hurry, you're kind of missing the signs of this message coming through regarding something about yourself that you already have, or that you have tapped into in the past, or that you have been in your periphery understood that is available to you, but you keep sort of dismissing or stepping over or continuing to think that once you get through this aspect, then you'll look into that. And you're being told, no, now is the time. So that is the overall message, is essentially you have something that is linked with your ancestor that you can tap into, and just be cautious of what you're doing through the month of November as far as your passion, your desires, how you're moving, how quickly you're moving. Don't get caught up in the idea if you can get past the hard points quickly, you can get to the other side, because you're working on very fertile grounds, and whatever you're doing is landing on fertile soil throughout the month of November. All right, Aries, that is all I have for you for this month. I hope the month is a good one for you. Be sure to check out your sun, moon, and rising signs for a more well-rounded perspective. And if you would like something that's specific to you and your needs, be sure to check out the description box below for links to my website. All right, that's all I have for you. Hopefully it's a good month, and I'll see you in a future video.